listening to that with me, Philip Turle, our foreign editor. I mean, lots of things to pick up on there, Philip. I wrote down there Pete Hegseth saying, look, we are an administration of action. So it seems there that on a number of different fronts, nothing is really off the table with this administration.
No, that's certainly true. And he said that basically ships that are in the hemisphere of the United States and Northern Hemisphere, when they are conducting illegal operations, they will be stopped. Only the US can accomplish this. And the world is watching, and the quarantine of illegal oil on board these phantom ships will continue. Donald Trump, to quote Pete Hegseth, is not messing around. He's a president of action. Also there, you said, was Marco Rubio, the US Secretary of State. He says President Trump always has retains the option to act when he deems necessary. I think that explains the action that we saw in the kidnapping of Nicolas Maduro. He said the Venezuelan people must decide the future of Venezuela, but the government of Venezuela at the moment, remember, it's the vice president of Nicolas Maduro, the same regime that's still in charge. He said that government cannot move any oil out of Venezuela without the agreement of the United States, basically pinpointing the fact that much of the oil from Venezuela was sold to China, and now it's solely the property of the United States. The leverage of the US, according to Marco Rubio, will lead to a positive outcome, and that the oil deal that is currently in negotiation with the government of Venezuela is not costing any money to the US government.
A rather combative exchange with the press there it was, Philip, and you've been focusing today particularly on Greenland. The French foreign minister has been making the media rounds this morning. He was saying, look, we're talking to our European partners and allies to see should the US try to acquire, whether that is invade or buy Greenland, we're preparing some kind of a response. Is there any sense as to what that European response might be?
Well, I think the way they're looking at it, there's two possibilities. One of them is more possible than the other. The first one is that NATO countries, excluding the United States, basically Canada and the rest of Europe, try to set up some kind of force that will push back the US if there is ever an invasion of Greenland. That is very highly unlikely because none of those countries wants to come to blows with the US, certainly over Greenland, which is only inhabited by 56,000 people. So that I think you can safely rule out. So the other option is that we go to the negotiating table, we get together with all the different foreign ministers and Marco Rubio to try to find some kind of bargaining chip to move forward together and to prevent the US from invading Greenland. There is also another option, and that is that the US try to pull the rug out of under the feet of Donald Trump by saying, okay, what we're going to do now is we are going to put together a whole armada of ships from other members of NATO, from the European Union, send them in to Greenland to patrol the waters around Greenland. That means the United States will no longer have any worries about Greenland being a passageway for the Russians, for example, or the Chinese. That is a way of trying to undercut what Donald Trump is saying, basically that he needs Greenland as a place for safe passage. I think what everybody understands here, from a European point of view, from the other point of view of NATO countries, is that what Donald Trump really wants is to get his hands on the precious metals and goods that are hidden in the ground in Venezuela, and that is his prime objective by wanting to take control of that country. What is going to happen next? Really, Nadia, nobody knows exactly what Donald Trump is going to do. You can tell from that press conference it's all pretty ad hoc, pretty disorganized, quite aggressive from the part of Pete Hegseth towards the journalists, and both men moving away pretty quickly before they had to really get into in-depth answers about particularly the seizure of these two ships today containing oil.